Okay, so I'm just going to go right back into Handbook for the New Paradigm, Volume 1. We're on session number 39. For those of you following along in the book, that's page 132. And it just begins. There is a time that mankind experiencing on this, there was a time that mankind experiencing on this planet brought all into balance. It was an experience that set what you might term the ideal into the consciousness at the planetary level. This then established the ability to recognize imbalance and allow for the desire to return to that ideal. This realization of what is and is not balanced experience comes from deep within the awareness. This singularity of focus is the controlling factor allowing the planet to remain within the orbital pattern of the solar system. What is perceived as gravity, as it relates to the magnetism of the planet, does not apply to the planets as they orbit within the solar system. This is a higher application of the law of attraction, or like being attracted to like. When there is similar criteria involved in the creative focus that brings a system into manifestation, that similarity is the basis for remaining within the field of focus. Inasmuch as there is a natural over-unity flow of energy accumulated, the system continues to expand and additional planets are formed. The process involved is not the point, only that you grasp the understanding that your scientists cannot understand what is at the basis of manifested creation without understanding the basic laws of the universe and the principle of thought, thinking, and acting upon itself, independent of control. Once this basis is accepted, then the door to understanding is opened. That's true. I want to pause this here because I've seen more than one being who cannot, for whatever the reason, go with the idea that the divine, we call it the divine, is simply nature. And this thought thinking within its and interacting within itself is actually what nature actually is. And to me, that's what it feels like. So, I'm going to say this again. The process involved is not the point, only that you grasp the understanding that your scientists cannot understand what is at the basis of manifested creation without understanding the basic laws of the universe and the principle of thought, thinking, and acting upon itself, independent of control. Once this basis is accepted, then the door to understanding is opened. It was never meant for man to gaze in wonder at what surrounds him, but that he should understand. The human brain is but a radio receiver that is capable of tuning into the flow of knowledge ever present in the creative flow, which I feel is what that whole thing is about, I was speaking on earlier. The magnetic field of knowledge ever present in the creative flow. The magnetic field surrounding each of you is like an antenna but your acquired belief systems cause you to unplug from the universal station and instead plug only into the five sensual environment. The spiritual aspect of the human, the God aspect of self awareness, is unknown to you through the stressed importance of material manifestation and the distorted influence of your religions. The adventure you search in vain to find is found in exploring the journey of the spirit that you are into manifested experience, and in the finding its every expansive return trip. Wow, I feel like that. So this explains why each goal attained is never enough. More and more must be attempted or lapse into discouragement and plan instead for a trip to the city of golden streets to take up playing the harp on a local cloud. I'm sorry, that's kind of funny to me. Humanity, as it knows itself on planet Earth at this moment, is experiencing a degree of utter frustration that is incredible indeed. Boy, and this that's only like really intensified since this was published. This can be compared to a balloon filling at an exponential rate toward the explosive point. The master planners of control are watching for this bursting point and planning its expansion with what they believe to be great care. However, just as balloons from the same package burst at different air pressure levels, neither can they be sure what the exact bursting point may be. It is a matter of how this released energy is directed that is the important point. Will it be as they choose? Or can it be self-directed by the mass consciousness of the awareness inside that bubble? Could the energy within the bubble be redirected from frustration to creation and deflate the balloon? They have no contingency plan to deal with these possibilities. It only requires one small hole in the dike to destroy the dam. Several or even many small holes ensure and speed the process. Why not one big explosion? Allowing weak points to expand is within the expansive flow of creation, while deliberate destruction is not. Considering possibilities within your own life experience is self-contemplation, again, within the expansive flow of experience. Is the focus of applying the law of attraction and deliberate manifestation of the opportunity for the weaknesses in their plans to expand include the destruction of the ones who would enslave or end your earthly experience by their choice? It is suggested to consciously withdraw participation by focusing instead on an entirely different creation project that will simply transcend the planned disaster. This would leave the perpetrators holding the bag and experiencing the other side of the coin as it fits into the experience of the law of attraction through their own use of it. This would be a wonderful demonstration of the universal laws in concept and application. The conceptualization of the simple changes in how a situation is perceived, and using a change of the focus of intention, applying the universal laws that have brought forth the wholeness of manifested reality is a big stretch of your understanding of how quote, things really are. When you reread this material, ask for the spiritual aspect, the source of your manifestation into this life experience, to give you discernment. Ask to know if this material contains truth, and what are the applications of these truths that will serve you, your fellow inhabitants, and the planet. It is your right to know if this guidance or if this is guidance or trash. Quote, ask and it shall be given unto you. This statement was not given to bring you material things directly, but that you might receive knowledge, quote, and in parentheses actually, information to be experienced into wisdom. It is appropriate to continue to paraphrase, quote, unto those much will be given and much will be expected. When understanding is given, you are expected to apply the laws and to live within them in ever expanding application and further understanding. Ignorance is no excuse before the law. The laws work whether you understand them or not. Intelligent, intentional application is the best bet for an adventure that will keep you delightfully occupied, depending on your ability to overview your own experiences and see them in context. Attitude does determine your altitude. Well, I think that's so very true. There are many puzzle pieces within these lessons that will be assembled by each serious endeavor to do so. Amazingly, these completed puzzles will each be a unique piece that will fit into the puzzle at the next level. I've actually seen that in my field of vision, where I've seen like a puzzle piece that clicked in and then revealed an entirely new puzzle beneath that one that was even more complicated with more puzzle pieces that lit up. Well, it was a vision I saw once. So very interesting that they use this puzzle piece here. So I'm going to repeat that last. Amazingly, these completed puzzles will each be a unique piece that will fit into the puzzle at the next level. You exist within a dimensional whole. Even the pieces are dimensional rather than flat. I feel like that's true. So I see I've received some pieces way before I even understood what they were. But if I hadn't been introduced to those pieces, these pieces over here, which required my being at a higher level, I wouldn't have understood any of that had I not been introduced, at least. Like I said that before. A necessary shift in how you conceptualize is available as a stepping stone for greater understanding. When you add dimension and life, which is thought thinking, to the game board, it lights up. Through your own imagination, you can begin to perceive movement within flow. Nothing is lifeless or stagnant. Every quark, atom, and molecule is pulsing with thought and movement. Nothing is truly flat or solid. You cannot walk through walls in your manifested body at the density of 68 megahertz or less. This should not be a mystery. When your brain vibration is 90 megahertz or less, you are unable to tune your radio like brain to the universal flow and receive the keys to the mysteries of galactic intentional focus. The possibilities of adventures leading to these experiences are encompassed within these lessons. Not all is directly presented, for much is there to be contemplated, and greater understandings brought forth through personal, unique processes. Within the Creator's flow, all uniqueness is divergent and cohesive. Within the Creator, I just read that. Two sides of the coin, or should that be a visualization of something that is dimensional rather than flat, incorporating the polarities through expression and experience for the purpose of returning to balance and adventuring forth again. The practice of discernment is an inclusive nuance of self-contemplation, of experience for the purpose of gaining wisdom and moving on into further expansion. A wise practice to apply frequently. And I'm going to pause here for just a moment. It won't look like I've paused to you, but that's the end of number 39. And I'm going to come right back and do number 40. So I'm going to take a moment though. Okay, we're just going to jump right into session number 40 here. For those of you that are following along, we're on page number 135. So, when the ending of the millennium does occur, okay, wait a minute. See, that's what I said. This was published in 2018. But I believe these channelings came in quite some time ago. And this seems to indicate at this point that this is some time ago, because it says, when the ending of the millennium does occur, it does not do this. Oh, wait a minute, I guess, on the date of your calendar. Okay, yeah, never mind. The cycles are not required to follow your calendar of the seasons. That's true, and it's been changed so many times. The basis of the cycles is not from the Earth perspective, but from what you call the zodiac, as Earth passes from one influence of the 12 aspects of experience to the next. The starting place of each planet's trip through these influences does not follow the conclusions drawn by astrologers, but is determined by the mathematical equation of the solar system as it synchronizes with the master equation of the galaxy. It may then be assumed that the true ending of the millennium cycle is unknown, other than in a general sense, and it is close to your calculated time, give or take a few months. The cycles shift at higher levels as the, quote, heavenly bodies, and in parentheses, observable in the night sky, which is nearly impossible because of artificial lighting, all moving in cycles, reach points for repetition to begin. This indicates ending and beginning within the conceptualization of finite thinking that is confined to the lower realms of dimensional experience. Each cycle may be thought of as a portion of a breathing process, allowing for a rest period or at times spent at the 0 point of balance before the shift. The zero, or rest point, is the point at which each manifested creation partakes of an energy, quote, feeding process, or a gathering of new energy before it moves into the new cycle. It is this available energy that the devious ones plan to utilize, combining it with the separated soul energy they plan to gather. They perceive this will supply an additional over-unity boost to bring about their planned shift from positive to negative. They also perceive that the control they are exerting will be accepted as the balance necessary for the energy transfer to occur at the resting point of the cycle shift. Magicians assume their tricks are accepted as real by observers caught up in the process. Unfortunately for them, they are the ones caught up in their own deception. The creator and the creation do not observe the darkness of deception, for all thoughts and plans are known. Glaring reasons that humanity as it now experiences cannot in this moment exist in the higher dimensions that are thoughts and emotions are available to be read by all. Okay, I have to read that again because quite frankly, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. I must have missed something. Glaring reasons that humanity as it now experiences cannot in this moment exist in the higher dimension. In the higher dimensions are that thoughts and emotions are available to be read by all. Deception is impossible because intentions are fully known. And this is beginning to be felt by everyone too, by the way. I mean, we all pretend that we might not feel something is off, but we all do know this in some ways. This brings personal responsibility as the basis for higher dimensional experience into light of logic, into the light of logical understanding. Individuals sharing the same dimensional experience screen out of harmonious thought to allow balanced group experience. Focused thoughts are known. And then what you call mental telepathy eliminates the need to slow the vibratory rate to vocalize thoughts. Since all at this level are consciously aware that their shared intention is participating in their return trip to the source of their own creation, the transition is not fraught with difficulty. Are there deviations? Of course, but normally these are worked through in a supportive environment. Now, this is what I feel like I've been moving through, right? Are there deviations? Sure, because sometimes I'm not sure my body can handle all what's happening, right? But it is happening through a supportive environment for me. It is rare that an individual must be returned to a lower dimension. As you begin to understand a larger picture of this point in the history of your planet and the segment of humanity that now resides on it, you can pinpoint your own experience within the scenario. Yes, I can. If indeed you are a volunteer who has placed itself in a lower dimensional experience in order to assist the individuals trapped there, then it hardly seems fair that you must be bound by the confines of that dimension. Unfortunately, that is how it works. However, it was understood when you volunteered to do this, there would be a point that you would be fully reminded who and what you are and of the agreement you made. In other words, you were promised a wake up call. This is your wake up call. And that's the end of number 40. I got to be honest with you. There are, and this happens, and everyone has to respect everyone. But I don't think there's only one wake up call. Some of us set an alarm that will continue to go off. I know I did. I cannot get out of this. There's no getting out of this for me. There's a, at every level, there seems to be a new sort of alarm going off, calling my attention to something else that I hadn't seen. So I hope you're enjoying this. This was number 30. I believe this is the end now. I did 39 and 40 together here. I'll be back with number 41 right after this. And then I think I'll do 2 in 1 this next time because I think that's the end of volume 1. So if you're enjoying this, so glad to have you here. Till next time, be well, my friends.